We continue our week-long series, Without a Home, special report on homelessness in Phoenix. You're hearing it on the news here. You're hearing it on all the shows. And what we did today was Chad and producer Pablo went down to the zone and spoke to people who live on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to pick your guys' brain here because I did not go with you. I went the first time that we went down.
That was more of a looking, changing around. We went down there because of the sandwich guy.
Correct.
Joe Falacci.
Yes. And we met him, met his wife.
Bought some sandwiches.
Bought some food. And really, we drove through the neighborhood and saw a lot of really sad things. People who were speaking to themselves. We saw a lot of people doing and buying drugs. So you guys were down there today. All right. First question. I'll go with you, Pablo. Was it cleaner? They've cleaned up part of the zone. Did you notice that they've cleaned up part of the zone? Or
yes.
No? You did?
Yes.
Because I don't think
certain parts.
Okay.
But the parts that they didn't clean up still look like the old part. Everything's still up. The tents, the makeshift shanty type stuff. It's still really bad, the parts that are still up.
Because when Chad came back, and this was around noon, you said something about your nose.
The stink that is still down there. Because you drive by, you don't notice it. And having grown up in L.A. and been around a ton of been in the situations where, like it's hard to, downtown LA, just like San Francisco now, smells like urine. And you cannot escape that smell. And it permeated. Pablo and I were like, dude, we need to take a shower. You can't not smell. It's in your nose. Yeah. It is.
And I think it's important that you say that. And I think it's important that you explain that because these are not living conditions that any human being should be in. There's no. Now, let me go down this road because when we went a few months ago, there was people urinating right in the street. Mm-hmm. They're going to the bathroom in a bush. They're squatting in a bush. There are bathrooms down there now?
There is. There was some portable bathrooms set up. There was probably a fenced perimeter of about 30 to 40 yards by 30 yards. And I estimated about 20 porta-johns and maybe two or three of those trailer-type bathrooms. Uh-huh. Similar to like when you go to a festival or something, or a concert, an outdoor festival, and they have the restroom set up. So it looks really similar to that.
A lot of problems can happen in those kind of restrooms down there, I'm guessing.
I don't think they were being utilized, though.
No, that's the other thing. They weren't.
What do you mean?
They were as empty as can be because I just don't think people, they have gotten to the point where they live in such a way that doesn't even dawn on them. Or, it's just very, very bizarre when, we walk by there and those things were all empty. Nobody was heading over there. Mm. And, the other thing is right in front of that, though, one thing I did notice was people were taking showers with the hose. They were washing their hair. It was just so weird.
But it's better.
Yeah, I don't know who set it up, Gators, but there's these big, I'm going to estimate 50 to 100 gallon portable water tanks, and they're kind of set up at about every 500 yards.
So they have a toilet, they have a shower.
And there's like a spigot on this thing, and they're out there with a spigot. Another thing I saw, there's a lot of electricity out there.
Oh,
I don't know where they're getting it from, but I saw an electrical cord underneath one of the tents with a power strip with about 8 or 9 different types of phone charger cords on it.
And everybody's got a phone. Everybody who's mentally capable of having a phone has a phone.
Didn't you guys say there's someone that has solar?
We were driving by and I'm like, oh my God, that guy's got solar.
What does that mean?
He has got
a panel up.
Several solar panels, big panels.
On the side of the
On the side of his tent.
Yeah. Okay, let me put it in just to perspective. If you're just joining us, this is part of our continuing week-long series, Without a Home, a special report on homelessness in Phoenix. You're hearing it all throughout the day in the radio station, all the different shows. And Chad and Pablo went down and talked to some homeless people at the zone. It's your guys' second time at the zone. Here's what I hear. There's power down there and electricity. There are showers to take, and there are toilets. Tough to argue that it hasn't improved. Sounds to me like it's improved.
Well, I think the power has always been down there. We were looking at the people
last time. They didn't have
time.
toilets. They didn't have showers.
The toilets, here's the thing. The toilets are inside. What was that? It was the last one we drove by. What was that? The one where they were people. That was the other thing.
They had a taxi cab dropped off.
Yeah, people were getting dropped off by taxi cabs.
People.
Are you saying homeless people are taking a cab to the zone?
Yeah, from other places.
These people looked homeless and are handicapped almost.
Yeah.
There was some in wheelchairs and some in walkers.
Were they going down there because that's where a lot of the places where they can get
I think so, because there was
a
workers
meal?
welcoming them from
Yeah.
from the NGO. There was workers out there.
Okay.
but they're Gatos. Just so you know, yeah, what we saw on the street, that's what those people want to live like. The people that want help, there is resources for them, and God bless every agency that's out there doing something, because there is. At Andre House, we saw a cooling station where they have a bunch of misters that's set up over an awning. Cass is always trying to help out people. There's availability. The people who want help can get it.
Everybody, yeah, it's all there. Whether you could come there with no ID, nothing, they're going to do everything to get your ID, your birth certificate, your social security card to get you back on your feet. And we found that out. And we had several people say, if you want the help, they'll get you the help. Everything from starting from point A to getting into a house. But it isn't easy.
All right. Last one, Pablo. Toughest thing you saw today down at the Zone talking to homeless people.
It must be because I'm in my 40s now, but young people. When I see young people lost, I saw a young lady today that she crossed my path, and I tried to talk to her. It looked like it could be my little sister, and the look in her eye, she didn't have a look in her eyes.
Yeah.
She was inhumane, almost zombie. There was no soul in her body.
Drugs.
She was walking, yeah, definitely drugs. She was walking around, being escorted by some other gentleman who had
Who's
gold
the
chains
gentleman?
on.
All right, that's a pimp.
That was the pimp
Yeah,
right there
yeah.
who got into a fight earlier with the drug dealer who said he was going to kill his dog.
And
Okay.
I also did see a guy on a bike. He was on not a bike. What are those the lime scooters
Oh,
or something?
yes.
This gentleman pulled up into a pile of it was just a pile of junk, and he pulled out a green backpack out of there and took it with him somewhere.
Like he was looking for it
Let
specifically.
me go back to the girl. How old do you think she was?
21, 22.
That's somebody's daughter.
Yep.
That is on the street, and there's no doubt in my mind this horrible human being of a pimp is loading her up on all types of different drugs and using her body to make money for him. And that's what you guys saw today.
That's it. I said to Pablo, I said, you look out here and you see, we've got all of our young reporters out here. She looks like she was partying one night at ASU and she's never been home and stopped partying.
Oh, no.
She's still in, she's got like high heel kind of wedges on and like a onesie kind of jumper on.
She's being paraded around
And
by
she's-
a
yeah.
piece of crap.
Absolutely.
That's awful.
Absolutely.
Gosh, that's awful.
Garris, before we get out of here,
Yeah.
speaking of being cleaned up, there was an organization out there, I believe it was New Mom, who they come and they clean the streets from the curb inside with these huge dumpsters, and they clean them, they say, twice a day. He'll be there. I spoke with the gentleman at 10 a.m. He said they'll come back tonight because it was clean. The street was clean. I said, what's going to look like tonight? He said, there'll be garbage in the street again.
Because I'll tell you one thing, we were handing out water. They would take a drink of water,
You guys
and
were
then they
handing
would
water
just
out?
throw it on
Yeah,
the
we had
ground and
cases
just
of
keep
water.
walking.
Good for you guys. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Well, we
probably
weren't supposed to, but these other guys asked us if we'd help them hand out water. So Pablo and I also got water.
Good. Chad and Pablo went down to the Zone today, talked to several homeless people. The young girl in her 20s with the pimp, that's going to crush me for the rest of the day.
It was
I want to
tough.
go down there and take her out of that situation.
Yeah, it was a tough thing
My
to see
God.
because you sit there and you think to yourself, I've got 3 daughters.
Yeah.
And how did you get yourself in this position? Because you still have so much life. And then I'm running into women in their 40s and 50s, and they've been down there since they were in their 20s.
Oh, gosh. That could be her
Yep.
for the next 20 years, unless somebody saves her.
Yeah, because she ain't saving herself.
I don't think that she can now.
No.
All right. Pablo and Chad went down, spoke to the homeless people in the Zone. It's part of our week-long series, Without a Home, special report on homelessness in Phoenix.